I pretended I couldn't speak for 2 years. What my family said around me changed my life forever. When I was 16, I temporarily lost my voice after surgery on my vocal cords. Doctors said it would take months before I could speak normally again, so I learned to communicate with a notebook, hand gestures, and text messages. About 5 months later, my voice returned, but I made a decision that changed my life. I didn't tell anyone. I wanted to know how people really treated someone they believed could never speak again. Everyone, including my family, thought I was still mute. At first, it seemed harmless. People talked around me instead of with me, assuming I couldn't defend myself or interrupt. Then I started hearing conversations I was never meant to hear. My older brother Tyler had always been the star of our family. Straight A's, captain of the football team, and my parents' pride and joy. One evening, he invited 2 friends over to study. I sat quietly in the living room while they talked in the kitchen. One of his friends asked if he felt bad that I couldn't talk anymore. Tyler laughed and said, "Honestly, life's easier now. She can't argue with anyone, and Mom and Dad barely have to deal with her." They all laughed while I kept my eyes on the book in my lap, pretending I hadn't understood a thing. That night, I realized silence wasn't protecting me. It was exposing everyone else. Over the next 2 years, I noticed things I'd never imagined. My aunt suggested my college fund should be given to Tyler because he had real potential. My grandmother told my mom that I probably wouldn't live an independent life anyway. The worst part was that my parents never disagreed. They just stayed quiet, as if everyone had already decided what my future looked like. Instead of confronting them, I focused on myself. Every insult became motivation. I studied harder than ever, volunteered after school, and secretly applied for scholarships. Since nobody expected much from me anymore, nobody paid attention to what I was accomplishing. By senior year, I had been accepted into one of the best universities in the state with a full academic scholarship. My family had no idea because I handled every application myself. At graduation, they only seemed excited because Tyler was receiving an athletic award. Then the principal began announcing academic honors. My name was called once, and again, and again. I walked across the stage collecting award after award before finally receiving the scholarship certificate. I could see my parents staring at each other in complete disbelief. After the ceremony, everyone gathered in the lobby. My grandmother smiled awkwardly and joked, "Well, I guess not talking leaves plenty of time for studying." A few relatives laughed. I slowly closed the notebook I'd carried for 2 years and looked directly at all of them. Then, for the first time since my surgery, I spoke. "Actually," I said clearly, "I've been able to talk for a long time." The room went completely silent. My mother's face turned pale. Tyler looked like he couldn't believe what he'd just heard. I took one deep breath and continued. I stayed quiet because I wanted to know who would still believe in me when they thought I'd lost my voice. Nobody answered. I looked at my parents and said, "You didn't stop loving me because I couldn't speak. You stopped believing in me because you assumed I couldn't succeed." Tears filled my mother's eyes, but I wasn't finished. The people who truly cared about me encouraged me without expecting anything in return. The rest of you only saw limitations. I thanked my teachers for believing in me, accepted my scholarship, and walked out of the building. I left for college that summer and built a life with people who valued my character instead of judging my abilities. Over the years, my parents apologized many times, and Tyler admitted he had been immature and selfish. I forgave them because carrying anger forever only hurts the person holding it. But I never forgot what those years taught me. Sometimes the loudest truth you'll ever hear is spoken while you're saying absolutely nothing. I pretend.
Okay, so have you